Welcome to the Prescription for Career Success podcast.
Michael says that I've been working at the same company for 12 years. The job is stable, the pay is decent, and I have good benefits. But I am not happy anymore. I feel unfulfilled, and I am thinking about pursuing a different career that aligns more with my interests. But the problem is that I'm scared to leave something secure for the unknown. I have responsibilities, bills to pay, and people depending on me. How do I know, Dr. Taylor, when is the right time for me to leave a stable job and to take a risk on something new? That is a big one, especially in this job market, right? And I'm always talking about pivoting. That's a big thought. So let's start with this, Michael. Thank you for being honest about how you're feeling. Because you just described what many other professionals are feeling, and probably some of those same fears in terms of even what's stable. Feeling safe is really important, right? But feeling fulfilled is also equally important. And the goal in your career is not to choose one over the other. It is truly to learn how to build both. Now, one of the things I want to address with you, Michael, that I took down in my notes here is that one of the fears that you mentioned, because fear is not a sign that you're making the wrong decision. Fear is often a sign that you are standing on the edge of growth. But here's the key. You don't have to quit your job to start preparing for the next chapter. And so one of the things that I didn't see here in this question was, have you maxed out the opportunities to grow in your job? And I recognize that not everyone to grow in your organization. Not every supervisor is going to be open to that. And I don't know, if you feel like it's a safe space to come to your supervisor and say, hey, I am looking for that next step or next challenge. The other thing is so what opportunities is this organization offering you so that you can prepare for your next step, whether it's in the organization or outside of it? So let's consider every aspect of this, because like I said, you don't have to quit the job right away. You can make a strategic plan to exit, because many people, they think that career change has to be dramatic, like handing in a resignation letter and then jumping into the unknown. But it doesn't have to be like that. You can do what we call strategic career planning, because in reality, the most successful career pivots are strategic and gradual. And you are in a good place that so many people, Michael, wish that they could be in right now, right? Where you can make the decision to pivot, and it can be a slow pivot based on what opportunities are available within your organization. If your organization is allowing you an opportunity to upskill, then you can upskill, and then maybe you can begin to transition out there. Okay, so instead of asking, should I leave my stable job right now? I just want you to ask this question, right? How can I prepare for the next opportunity while protecting my current stability? And here are a couple of things you can do. The first thing I want you to do is clarify what you actually want. So you're saying that this role is not challenging for you anymore. And is it the company itself, or is it just the role? Because if it's the role, then you could have conversations, if there's a safe environment to do so, with your leadership about what you're looking to do next, how you're looking to grow. Sometimes we know we're unhappy, but we just haven't really clearly defined what is making us unfulfilled. And so you need to get really specific about the type of work in an environment and responsibilities that really energize you. And that second thing is to build that transition plan, not an escape plan. So again, look within the organization, look outside of the organization. And then if you know that this is kind of DOA in terms of you growing within that organization, while you're making that transition plan, does your organization offer education benefits or opportunities for you to participate in things that you can use to build that resume? Start attending networking events for your desired field, and then look through again. Can you take on additional? So if there's no possibility of you actually growing within that organization, can you take on projects and other small side opportunities that would allow you to grow your skills and leverage your skills, leverage these things so you can continue building your resume as you make that transition? And then just test the direction before you commit to it. Again, you can volunteer, freelance, because all of these things are going to help you to build that resume and portfolio that you want. As you test these things to really kind of say, okay, I want to go in this direction. If it doesn't work, that's fine, because you are going to be reducing that risk, but you're building confidence, right? Because you're trying these things and really figuring out what is going to work for you. Leaving a stable job is not about being reckless. It's about being intentional. So one of the things I just want to say, security doesn't only come from your current job. It comes from your skills, your adaptability, and your ability to create opportunities. So the question is not, is it risky to leave? What I would challenge you, Michael, to do is to say, what steps can I take today to make my next move a more confident one, right? Again, whether it's inside or outside of the organization.